Happy heat wave, everyone. I'm Ron Milligan with RE/MAX Select, and I have got the latest market statistics for the Portland metro area. I have two sets right here, the ones that we keep in our office, the week-to-week statistics that we follow just to see how things are going. And then I also have the RMLS statistics for the month of July, which are trailing statistics. So this is the completed month of July, all the statistics that they had for real estate sales. Nothing huge to report really. The number of new listings was up slightly. The number of pending sales decreased a little bit from when we compared July of this year to July of last year. Of course, July of last year was when the market just went gangbusters and everyone realized that we're going to have a crazy market. The number of closed sales increased last July versus the previous July. So we had more sales, more closings during that month than the previous year, which isn't a surprise because June we were still a little shaky last year. The inventory, that's a measure of both supply and demand. Given no new listings at the current rate of sales, how long would it take to sell everything currently active on the market? Buyer demand plus supply of available homes. That's 0.9 months of inventory. That's up from the previous month in June, not a surprise. We hit the lowest at 0.7 months of inventory in May, which is a record-setting level. 0.9 months of inventory, if I'd seen that a year ago, I would have lost my mind at how low that is. So it's still an extremely tight market as far as supply and demand goes. The year-to-year comparisons, I'll throw them out there, but keep in mind that what we're doing is we're comparing the first 7 months of this year to the first 7 months of last year. Even though July and January and February are really strong months, March, April, May, and into June were weaker just because of when the virus hit. But the number of new listings was up 9.3% this year versus last year during that same period. Pending sales was up 14% and closed sales is up 20%. So we're still ahead of last year. The comparison of the purchase average sale price last year to this year for 7 months to first 7 months shows an increase of 19.4%, which is really, really strong. What's going on right now, looking at what our week-to-week statistics, the number of homes sold was a little weak, but not surprising because we're coming off of, these would be sales that we were writing and getting under contract in the beginning of July when we had a really quiet week for July 4th, which was observed on Monday the 5th. And I think everyone was out of town. I know there weren't a lot of realtors. A lot of realtors I was calling during that week were out of town camping at the coast, Hawaii, or Mexico. So it's not a surprise that we have a smaller number of homes that sold. The number of active listings stayed pretty solid. It increased slightly, and the number of pending deals also increased slightly, but almost a negligible amount. The number of new pending deals, however, for the third week now straight is pretty strong. Actually, the fourth week straight is pretty strong. So that week of July, July 5th, was really quiet. We had kind of suppressed numbers, and the following 4 weeks we've had pretty strong numbers. It looks like that was more than just like the rebound from the suppressed number of transactions entering contract during that July 5th week. And maybe it's just more of the, more and more folks entering the market and purchasing homes. However, the days on market is increasing. So days on market went from 15 days the previous week to 17 days this most recent week, and then the median went from 5 to 6. In addition to that, the average sale price versus the list price. So you listed at one price. What percentage of that price does the home on average the home sell for? That number is 102.4 was for this last week. That's down. I want to say even as much as recently as a month ago, that number was around 104%. So what that says is that, and it's what we've been experiencing, is that we've got a smaller pool of potential buyers out there vying for each property that hits the market, and the properties are not getting bid up as quickly. and as high as they had been before, and they're taking a little longer to sell. It's not surprising now. I mean, not surprising, but it does happen every so often that you see homes that go for a couple of weeks before they sell. So the market is shifting a little bit. A lot of what we've been experiencing has been across the nation. Some of the real estate analysts that I follow have been talking about what we're experiencing as the summer slump, combination of buyer fatigue, and then the other thing is they call it kind of like the caged animal syndrome, where folks have been at home for so long, kind of locked down, that when summer hit and school was out, folks went on vacation, hit the road, and buying the house became sort of a secondary at that point. So the expectation is that towards the end of August, that folks will come back to town. September, which is typical for our Portland market, July and August are usually kind of quiet months for us. Then in September, folks come back to town, kids get back to school, and then we have a nice infusion of buyers and a nice push of transactions in September that we close in October. So the expectation is that folks are going to come back to town. Interest rates are still really low. I believe that they're still below 3% for a 30-year fixed if you have good credit. And folks will be coming back, kind of refilling our pool of potential buyers. At least this is our expectation right now, refilling our pool of potential buyers at a time when fewer new listings hit the market, which is going to drive that inventory and months number down. So that's what we've got right now. I will update you as soon as I have anything new. And of course, as I always say, all real estate is local. If you're curious about what's going on in your neck of the woods or your segment of the market, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to share what I know or do a bit of research for you. All right, see you next week.